What's up, guys? This is Pedro from My Stuttering Life, where you will hear the good, the bad, the very ugly. We're gonna laugh, we're gonna cry, but through it all, just know that you are not alone. So, let's get started. This is episode number 93, and my special guest is Maria Humphreys. Maria Humphreys is the founder of the Strong Body, Strong Soul platform. She describes herself as a spiritual activist. This means she uses her energy, the power of her voice, to help people shift into a more conscious state of being. Her podcast, Strong Body, Strong Soul, has over 80,000 downloads to date. She is a featured teacher on the Insight Timer meditation app and offers meditations weekly in her Meditation with Maria private group on Facebook. She firmly believes that technology is a gift that can be used to raise the level of positive energy in this world and help us connect with like-minded souls. She is not afraid to push buttons, both figuratively and literally. She believes perfection is overrated and is often a very misunderstood concept. Through her workshops and personal coaching sessions, she helps people reignite the power of their own energy signature to improve their lives in profound ways. I am honored to have her as a guest with me on the My Stuttering Life podcast. Welcome, Maria Humphreys.
Hello, Pedro. I'm so thrilled to be here. Thank you so very much for inviting me onto your amazing show.
Well, it is a huge honor. And so this is a special episode because last year during the COVID pandemic, trying to cope with everything, I found meditation. I found mindful meditation. And let me tell you, Maria, this wasn't just to help me with my speech. It's helped me with everything, to help me how to cope with stress, to help keep my mental health in check, and to just help me focus on what I know to be true is that in doing diaphragmatic breathing, that has helped me a tremendous. So I have you on here because I'm still new. I am, I'm still a novice, and so I brought you on here because I want to learn more, and you are my guru, and so I just want to. I just can't wait to start. All right, so so tell me what you do.
I help people figure out how to activate the energy that they already have in their systems. And what happens is, of course, throughout our whole lives, we end up being fed information about who we are and what we're capable of. And we start to live in that reality. And I just love your show so much. And I'm so thrilled to be here. And I know I don't have a stutter, but my son does. And so it is a little bit of a part of my life, and it has been a part of my journey as well. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But I think that it's so important that we lose the comparison to other people. And I think it's funny that you just said you're a newbie to it all. I think that already you have some of the vocabulary, the diaphragmatic breathing and such. The way I teach, I like to use everyday kind of language and real situations. I don't like to use all the big fancy words of meditation. There's obviously subconscious, the ego, all that kind of stuff that's intertwined in our everyday reality. But I want to talk to people about walking through the aisles of Costco and being okay not knowing everybody's name Who cares? You can say hello. Obviously, with masks in this current environment that we're in, we have to speak with our eyes and our body language. Everything is different anyway. But for purposes of our conversation here, talking about a stutter, I'd like to, first off, is ask everyone to slow down. Slow down your thinking. Just like you just mentioned, mindfulness. That's one of the types of meditation that I teach as well. I teach a mantra style of meditation. That's my first love. That's where I began. And that is really where I coach people on how to use their own vocal cords and their own energy to make sound without worrying about the vocabulary. So, yeah, I just love it. I think that there are mindfulness focused techniques that can really help anybody, no matter who they are. But I think that, which part of mindfulness would you say has helped you the most as a stuttering person?
Well, it has helped me to become more present, to just being in the moment, because for so long, like for decades and decades, I wasn't there. And so you brought up a fantastic point. It's what I used to do as a stutterer. I would compare myself to other people. I would compare myself to those who spoke quote unquote normal, aka fluent. And every time I did that, Maria, every time I came out on the losing end, I would always tell myself, they have what I want. They have what I have been looking for decades. Yeah. They have what I tried voodoo to help me with to be quote unquote normal, or to be fluent. And when I stopped comparing myself to other people, because I don't believe in normal. I believe every person is unique. We're all here for a reason. We all have a purpose. And when I stopped comparing myself to other people, the stress, the anxiety, it just went away. Yeah. And in doing my mindful meditation, I do it every morning. And for like 5-10 minutes, I just, I have a chair in my bathroom because, I'm 50, I'm old. So I have a chair in my bathroom. And so, I close the door. And so I sit down and I focus on my breathing. That's the only thing. If my mind starts to wander, I quickly bring it back to the breathing, because I'm still learning how to be present. And in speech wise, I have applied it. Oh, hold on. I got so excited. I have applied it when I'm having a conversation, because the old Pedro, when having a conversation with another person, I would mentally, as I'm still talking to the person, in my head, I can see all of the words that are coming down the pike, and those that I cannot say, I word switch. Now, picture having a conversation and thinking at the same time the words that are coming, and there are a couple that I cannot say, I'm mentally switching them. After a half hour, an hour, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
It is completely draining. And through mindful meditation, it's awesome. I focus on being present. I focus on the person. And it is amazing. I don't even think about my stutter. I don't even think about, all that I focus on is the wonderful person that I'm having a conversation with. It's pretty cool.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's perfect. Well, I think to give your viewers or your listeners some useful tools, I'd like to go through just a few things like we were just speaking about. Mindfulness is the mind. And I'm going to go into, and we can graduate from mind to the body to the soul, connection. And if you don't mind, I can go through there. And I think the first thing what you need to do is realize when you're in your mind, just like you were just saying, focusing on the breath is really important. But it's important also to remember that you can choose which thoughts you are going to focus on. And we can use those to our advantage, right? Any experience that we've had in our life, we can bring it to our awareness right now. You can use your mind to think about that time you were walking on the beach, that whole idea of a guided visualization type of meditation. You're using your mind to invite the thoughts that you want. And also it's important to remember that thoughts are going to come that you don't want, and you really can't stop them. And I advise my students all the time, don't try to stop them. You're going to end up in a little wrestling match and you're not going to win. You're giving them more power by resisting them. So it's easier, more beneficial, if you can get yourself to a point where you can just watch those thoughts float by. They're going to come, and you're an observer. You're an observer. And those thoughts in your head are going to keep coming. And it's okay. It's okay. So sometimes I do, as an instant, if we're talking about anxiety that happens to somebody, you can, in an instant, bring yourself back. Breathing is a good tool, but can I go ahead and show you one that might help people listening here with us, or for yourself? What I do quite often is, if I am in a moment of extreme anxiety, panic, you can, for a moment, close your eyes. And I'm going to invite everybody out there to go ahead and join us right now. You can close your eyes and breathe naturally in and out through your nose at your own pace. But I'd like to invite you to use the focus of your mind right now. I'd like to bring your attention to the center of your forehead, between your eyebrows, directly in front of your forehead. With your eyes closed, you can still see the light. Maybe it's coming through your eyelids that are closed. Maybe you're visualizing a bright white light. You can hone in on that light and that energy. Bring your attention to that point in front of your forehead. And then you can actually pull that energy back into your head, into the center of your head, into your brain, nourishing your brain with attention. We don't think about our brains that often. But sometimes just bringing that focus and awareness inside of our own physical skull, our heads, can help us bring ourselves back. Go ahead and open your eyes when you're ready. A little bit of focus can help, in addition to the breathing, of course. And we would do that, obviously, in a much slower environment. But you get the idea. The other thing that you can do is, like we were saying, that's a great way to slow yourself down. Get control of your thoughts, because your thoughts, the faster they are, the more they're going to cause you to stutter. You're going to be in a panic to speak, or you're going to be so frozen with stress and anxiety that you're not going to be able to speak at all. Being mute can be the opposite extreme, right? And we don't want to bottle up all of that energy inside of our bodies and be frozen. So, the mind focus, you can actually pinpoint a spot on your head. You can pinpoint, when I work in workshops with people, I focus on the chakra system. And there are thousands of chakras, and I won't go into it right now, but they're part of our physical body, and they run up your meridians. They're up your spinal cord. So I'd like to move on to the body, physically, how you control your own body, your posture, your breathing. Your breathing is a great way to use mindfulness to get yourself centered, but it also helps expand your lung capacity. So from a physical perspective, it's helping your lungs be fuller and get more oxygen into all the cells in your body. So it's physically helping you, not just emotionally, not just spiritually, but physically. It's like a cardio workout when you do it properly, those breathing techniques that you do. You can breathe in and out through your nose. You can hold your breath. Lots of meditation teachers say hold your breath between the inhale and the exhale, but I like to say pause. Pause in that moment of stillness between the inhale and the exhale. If I use the word hold, sometimes it creates a physical reaction where you want to hold on to something tight, like you're going to lose it. And we don't want to do that either. So vocabulary, and that's where I want to get out of the mind a little bit and not worry about vocabulary, but at the same time, we need to use human language, right? So pause is kind of a better way to think about it. Also, I like to remind people about where they are physically during meditation. So, depending on the type of meditation practice genre that you're working with, sometimes people say in the practice that I studied with for the last decade, they're from India. The meditation that I teach is initially developed in India. It's meant for everybody, of course, and it's that human connection. They talk about these 3 points. They're pressure points, scientifically proven now, which is so fascinating to me. Those pressure points help us. In the Indian tradition, it's prana kriya, they call it, is a hand position. Prana kriya 1 is thumb to the index finger. Prana kriya 2 is to the middle finger. And prana kriya 3 is to your ring finger. Now, you can do that with both of your hands at the very same time when you are meditating. When someone is guiding you through a meditation and they're asking you to breathe, it's often very helpful to use your fingers to count those breaths. Not only does it help you to keep track physically, it also is giving you a proprioceptive. That is another kind of sensory quality that we all have. Proprioception is your knowledge of your physical space in time. From a personal training perspective, we talk about that a lot. When you're going up and down steps, your body naturally knows how far away that step is. You know where your body is in space. In a meditation's context, oftentimes we could be meditating and we could go to a place where our consciousness is very elevated. And especially at the end of a meditation, it's important to get in touch again with our own physical bodies when we're coming out of it as well. Hypnotherapy, same kind of idea. If you're in hypnotherapy, the very end, they might say, "What did you have for breakfast?" To bring you down into reality, into right now. It's all reality, but it's how far you want to stretch it, how much you're expanding in the moment, right? So from a physical standpoint, I believe that the meditation, if you're focusing for a stuttering perspective, I think that expanding your lung capacity, I think that your posture, I think all of those physical tools we can incorporate into our meditation practice. Also, by the way, I mentioned earlier that my son has a speech impediment. We kind of let it go. And just like so many people that have something a little bit different than other people, at some point you have to figure out, what's the big deal? It's okay. And oftentimes when I'm talking to you, Pedro, right now, and to everybody out there listening, I want you to understand I'm not just speaking to people with a stutter. I'm speaking to the people that are around them in their lives to adjust their perspective on the situation. Because in their minds, it's a situation. They have to wait for that person to speak. Maybe it brings on some lack of patience. Maybe it's something we need to learn about ourselves when we are compassionate for people too. But from a physical standpoint, I would say the mouth, the jaws, the musculature of the face is really important as well. So I'm going to talk about that for a moment in the physical context of meditation, how it can help for people who may have a stutter. You physically are working your jaws and your muscles. Now, in workshops where I am teaching people how to do the chanting meditation that I love to teach, I am teaching them certain sounds. And the sounds themselves cause you to move your mouth, your jaws in certain ways. The sounds don't mean anything. They are merely a sound, which is also such a beautiful thing for anybody with any kind of speech situation, saying, all this stuff where if you just release your breath, if you release and go through an Om, everything changes, and I'm using my mouth in different ways instead of normal speaking voice. It's different. It's more of an opening. It's more of your tongue, your mouth, everything is a little bit different when you meditate. You're more relaxed as well, of course. So everything is more relaxed, including the muscles of your face, your own face physically. So I'm going to go ahead and we went through for body. If we're talking about the mind, I'd like you to take with you the exercise about focusing. It's the third eye. The sixth chakra is where we can see, we can manifest the future. When we live with intention and we want to move forward in our lives, the best way to do that is to behave in a way where we actually are seeing what we want and we are feeling what it's like to accomplish that task. And that will help solidify it for us. So from a mind perspective, we can use our thoughts to affect our bodies and our lives. From a physical standpoint, we can use our fingers to do the counting while we're meditating. We can hone ourselves in. We can use our breathing. We can expand our lung capacity, exercise our face, okay? So that's our little bit of an exercise on well, let's try it. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to invite everyone to close your eyes, to feel your feet firmly planted on the floor beneath you, whether you have shoes on or not. But I'm going to ask you to sit up straight as you can, feeling the top of your head reaching up. I'm going to ask you to put your hands gently on the tops of your thighs, palms facing upwards. And I'm going to invite you to go ahead. We're going to take 3 breaths together. Just really easy breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And I want you to use your fingers to count. Thumb to the index finger, the middle finger, and then the ring finger. In through the nose and out through the mouth, and we're going to start right now. I'm not going to count your own with your own fingers. Breathe in. Go ahead and keep your eyes closed for a moment. When you're doing an exercise like this, you're counting on your own. You're not in a race against anybody else. Inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. Allow a gentle smile to grace your face and open your eyes slowly. So using those fingers to count. Okay? Now, any questions? Does that make sense?
It does, and there's peace. I feel peace. I feel relaxed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I do notice a difference if I skip my mindful meditations in the morning due to an early appointment or an early meeting, and if I miss it, it shows. I can feel the busyness, you know, chaos. You know, I can feel, you know, all of it. But if I do it like I need to every single morning, it feels wonderful, and I'm ready to tackle on my day.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And that's using that focus to create your day and set the intention for the day. I do want to caution you, though, to be compassionate to yourself. When you do miss it in the morning and you find yourself at 9 o'clock at night, you can do it then. And you can actually undo some of the stress that you may have experienced during the day. You can retroactively undo that. That's what I do a lot of times with people that I work with in one-on-one coaching together, undoing a lot of trauma from the past, all sorts of struggles like that. But you can do that in your own day when you miss a day. You can always go back and do a redo. You can do a reset. So don't forget about that too. Yeah. The last area that I was going to kind of talk to you guys about, and Pedro, we all know the whole idea that we're all connected through our energy. Whether you call it the collective consciousness, or the university that I study with, they call it the limitless field. It's a field of abundance, of unlimited potential, because that's what we all are. We all can connect in that place. And it's beyond language. So from a stuttering perspective, when you get to that place in your meditation practice, that is a place where you're going to want to stay for a while because it's so beautiful. And we can do that by incorporating that focus, that exercise of using our physical bodies to create sound. So I'm going to take you there right now, okay? I'm going to show you an exercise that you can do where you're using your own body, your own vocal cords. It's a simple hum, okay? Now, much of what I talk about, everything I talk about, everybody already knows how to do it. You know, you can hear 1,000,000 times in your life how to breathe, the counting. But we've been doing it since we're born, obviously. But it helps us so much to have someone talk you through it. And for this particular sound that I'm going to share with you right now, I want you to think about it. I want you to be able to take it home with you into your life and see if it helps you. Maybe you do something like this already. One of the meditations that I like to share includes this hum. Okay, we actually do the hum and then we do 3-part breathing. There are different stages to it, but I'm going to go ahead and just share the hum with you, and we're going to do it, and we're going to use our fingers to count, just like we did a moment ago, too. So it's going to be the 1, 2, 3, just 3 times, okay? The hum is going to be with your lips closed. It's going to come from your belly and your vocal cords, your entire chest cavity. But you're going to do it with such authority. You're going to do it so loudly in your own body that it's going to make a sound. I hope you're in a comfortable place. But it's going to vibrate your face. You are going to actually feel a tickle on your mouth and your cheeks when you do the hum, and it's going to reverberate through your body. That's how loud you're going to do it, okay? So sometimes in meditations, especially virtual ones, I invite people to do it. I teach them how. But oftentimes I have clients just come to my studio pre-COVID and enjoy the sound of my voice. So either way, the listeners out there, if you're not in a place where you can participate in this, just relax and enjoy my voice. If you are in a comfortable place, go ahead and go all in. I can't hear you anyway, so it's okay. So the only person you need to impress is yourself. And I promise you, with all my students, I always tell them, you get what you put out there. So the more you invest in yourself, the more you can settle your own system down and help yourself, because that's what it's all about. Okay? So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. Place your hands, palms upright on your lap. And I'll do one for you first so you can hear what it sounds like, okay? I'm going to take a big breath in. It's not a race to see who can hold the sound the longest. Each time you do this exercise, the hum may get longer. Some days you might not feel as powerful, and it can be shorter. You do what you can in any given moment. Studies show that each person has their own unique energy signature that comes through your own voice. Doing this hum allows you to really delve into that sound of your voice, to heal yourself, to allow yourself the freedom to make sound without words interrupting your energy. So we're going to do this together 3 times. Inhaling through your nose. Relax. Inhale. Relax. You are capable of making beautiful sounds using your voice to create a vibration that travels well past the room that you are in. Slowly open your eyes when you are ready.
I have to tell you, I feel amazing. It's peace. I feel peace. I feel peace. I feel the harmony. I feel wonderful. I feel wonderful.
I'm so glad. I think that's the biggest gift that meditation gives to any of us. But I think particularly for people who don't have the opportunity to use their voices as freely as other people do, perhaps, getting all caught up in all the differences and everything, I think that hum is really helpful to unleash it, to unleash that energy. We all know communication is such a gift, and everybody has a different way of doing it. We all learn from each other, but the person that you can learn from the most is, you know what I'm going to say, yourself. Yes, yes, yes. So your own voice, I want to urge everybody out there who's listening or watching, use your own voice to your own benefit. Don't let anybody else squish that creativity and that light that you are. Not that you're supposed to be. You're not supposed to do anything. You are. You are that. I think that conversations like this are so important to have, because I think we are all storytellers. We are all sharing our unique human experiences. We all have our own perceived inadequacies, but we are all gifts. And I think when we're talking about language and expressing ourselves, every word that you say is a seed. It's a gift that's meant to go out there, and you don't know who it's going to touch. You don't know where it's going to land and grow and take root. But it's important also to remember that you yourself are a seed from prior generations. From you yourself are sent out into the world as a seed. So hold on to that and let it really take root however it's supposed to. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, Maria, I could hear you for days. You have that voice. It's just so nurturing, and yet it's so powerful. It's so powerful. And so I want to say thank you. I feel so relaxed. I can just take on the world right now because I feel so wonderful. I feel at peace. And as a person who stutters, I was for decades, I was never at peace. Every organ in my body was in fight mode.
Yeah.
For over 3 decades. And let me tell you, that wears on your body.
Yeah.
As you can tell, I now have my gray hair, it's thinning a little bit. That's just, I did not have to go through all that stress, but I did. And what I believe that everything happens for a reason. And, after I reached that point of 40 years old where I said, that's it. I love Pedro. And I have never uttered those words in 35 years. Never. Because I was always told I'm slow, that I'm stupid, that nobody wants you. Mm-hmm. You will not have a career. You will never get married. All that you will have is every month you will get a disability check in your home. And that's what everyone told me was going to be my life. Mm. And after 35 years of just going through hell and being in the darkness at 40, when I told myself, that's it. I love Pedro. Pedro is awesome. Stuttering does not define who I am. It's just what I have. And once I spoke out those words into the universe, everything lifted. All of the shame, all of the guilt, all of the embarrassment, everything just lifted. And I kid you not, Maria, a whole new world had opened up. And that's when I went into personal development to learn about Pedro. And then I incorporated mindful meditation for my overall health to help me cope with everything that has been happening in my life and in the world. And I'm so grateful. I'm so blessed to have been open to mindful meditation. So I want to just thank you, Maria. I could hear you for days. And so I have amazing listeners. They're global. Okay. This podcast is in 45 countries. So
wow.
Yes, it is a blessing.
That's amazing. I think one of your main gift is your voice.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes. What we have to say has value. And so what if my listeners from around the globe wanted to reach out to you? What would be the best way?
Well, I have a website. The platform that I've been building for the last couple of years is called Strong Body, Strong Soul, because I truly believe we all have those things. No matter what our preconceived ideas are of what those terms mean, I don't think that we should limit ourselves. And so Strong Body, Strong Soul is the name of my platform. They can find the podcast everywhere, Spotify, Apple Podcast, all that kind of great stuff. My website is strongbodystrongsoul.com. My YouTube channel is also Strong Body, Strong Soul, and the Instagram account. I have started offering meditations on Facebook, live meditations. I have a private group that anybody is welcome to join. All over the world is fine because the live meditations that I've been doing are recorded in the private Facebook group. So anybody who joins the group can go ahead and watch the replays whenever they feel like it. So that's been a beautiful thing. So that's called Meditation with Maria. That's the private Facebook group. But I've really enjoyed working with people. I was doing meditation workshops in my area, and obviously because of COVID, we can't all be together. So I'm just now starting to branch off more into the virtual space by doing it through Facebook like that. I also see private clients through Zoom where I work one-on-one with people also who might need a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of help. I work with cards and I work with crystals and sound bowls and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to get too woo-woo, but it is an amazing journey that we're all on. And wow, it's amazing because I think the podcast platform in particular gives us an opportunity to really hear someone's soul speaking to us through that headset straight into, because we all relate to each other because we are all part of each other. Some part of all of our stories is part of us, So I really appreciate you for having this show, Pedro. I appreciate your invitation to share my voice here, share your space with me. Thank you so much. Wow. Oh, Clubhouse, I guess, is another place that people could find me. At Maria Speaks is my Clubhouse handle, although that demographic is kind of smaller right now. But Pedro, I can't wait to have some rooms in there with you.
Yes, I love me some Clubhouse. And it is just, when I first joined in early January, when I did a search for people who stutter, only 2 people popped up and I was number 3. And so now there are more of us because it's an audio only platform. And for people who stutter, it's a little, scary. However, we need to push ourselves out of our comfort zone and just do it, because everything you want is on the other side of fear. Mm-hmm. And I am on the other side, and it is wonderful. But I have to tell people, I have to disclose, for 35 years I was in the darkness for 35 years, and to have me now in the light, living my best life and having these wonderful conversations. Maria, yeah. I feel peace with you. I feel fantastic. And so I want to thank you. I will post those links into the notes so anybody from around the world can access you and can reach out to you. And I'm hoping that this will not be our last time, because I can't tell you how relaxed I am. I can't tell you how at peace I am. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. You are truly a light in this world. And I'm just so blessed and honored to know you and to be in your presence, because all that I feel from you is love. And so I just want to say thank you. Thank you.
You are so welcome. And truly, that's why I'm out here, is to share my voice and my energy, through the podcast, the YouTube channel, all that stuff. I don't know who is coming into contact with my content. Any of you guys, of course, are welcome to get in touch with me. But go ahead and enjoy that content as well that I've put out there. It's for you. It's for you. I create for you. So.
How cool. Thank you. I hope you have an awesome evening. I want you to take care, stay safe, and be well.
If you like this podcast, head on over to Apple Podcasts. Subscribe, rate, and review. Thank you for listening, and we will talk again.